by the United States Attorney's Office, and I will have the opportunity to see it tomorrow. And I might further say that in discussion with members of the board, unless there's something unusual in the order, that the probability is that we would not take an appeal from the court's order.
Mr. and Mrs. Decker, and Mr. Decker is a very sick man, and he hopes that you will accept this, and he wishes to thank you and thank all his employees and all the people of Dallas for the help and support that they've given him in 21 years as your sheriff. You know and I know that he has been a 24-hour-a-day sheriff, 7 days a week, never taken a vacation. And I think that anything that you might do in his behalf would be greatly appreciated by he and his wife. Thank you, John. Any questions?
September 1st.
Sorry?
Effective September 1st.
Effective September 1st. I would be glad to turn this letter over to you then.
So Banks, will you be speaking to him today, please?
Yes, sir.
Would you tell him that we accept this with regret, and we do appreciate everything he's done for all of us in Dallas County?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Thank you very much.
All in favor, all opposed, carried and so ordered. Sad day for Dallas, W.O. We all know that.
Court regarding the application of the Arizona cases to other states.
I have no idea at all.
Well, I think that the legislature should provide facilities in addition to the facilities that we have now. Of course, we have the Denton State School and the Mejia State School, but neither of them want these children because they just don't fit in. We need separate facilities for them. There's a number of them over the state, and these are needed because these youngsters need help just like anyone else. They've demonstrated that they have criminal tendencies. They need treatment. They're of danger to themselves and to other members of society. And it's in our interest of everyone that they do receive treatment.
They came with beautiful expressions, and I think they're going to be great. This is the new day, first day, and I think that if the heat let us, we'll do great things.
This is your first year. What are you expecting out of this year? Are you scared?
Oh, a little, but not about the students so much. Just about school rules and policies and things. It's a lot of new things to look forward to, and I just really don't know what to expect.
We are pleased that Medicare is working as well. I think we've gotten over the initial shock of changing over a great deal of the delivery system, and I believe that most doctors now are able to live comfortably with Medicare.
One of
And-
the original objections to the program was that it was a tendency towards socialized medicine. Do you still feel that way, or does the association still feel that way?
Well, of course, the association feels that every move toward more government practice is a tendency toward socialized medicine, but if it can move as slowly as Medicare does, we actually have found out that we don't believe that this hurried up the advent of socialized medicine, and we believe that it may be one of the things that has stopped it entirely, because we found out what a tremendously costly thing government medicine is.
MediCenter of Arlington is unique more as a concept than as an institution. Rather than competing with hospitals or nursing homes, it augments them without competition and at a lower cost to the patient. I asked its administrator, Jim Bingham, about the concept.
Well, Jay, as you just pointed out, we're not here to compete with the general hospital or with the nursing home. Our facilities are designed to supplement and augment both of these types of institutions in the community by providing convalescent care past the acute stage, but not at the custodial level. We want to work with the patients and the physicians and the hospitals and the nursing homes in this area to free up the acute hospital bed for the patient who needs them. We want to work with the custodial nursing homes for those patients that are on a long-term basis.
Game at first set. Mr. Raider, 6-3. New ball.
Is that this takes people from all walks of life, the high school children, college students, and from all walks of life that have participated and have answered questions about the needs of government, people that have not been contacted before.
Well, that's hard to evaluate. I think it is an important award. Look magazine will, I'm sure, give it quite a bit of publicity, and the city of Dallas will be recognized for the winning of the award and for the accomplishments that they have made by involving the citizens of Dallas in many of the things that they have not been involved in before.
Well, in this election, we're actually going to have two elections in one. There are some cases pending before the Supreme Court and some recent decisions of the Supreme Court that would indicate that perhaps any registered voter would be allowed to vote in a bond election. Heretofore, it's only been those voters who own taxable property rendered for taxation who could vote. So we're having two elections, one of them in which the owners of taxable property rendered for taxation will vote. The other election will be those people who do not own taxable property rendered for taxation.
The primary items of the order being that the Hamilton Park Junior High School would be disbanded, with those students currently attending the Hamilton Park Junior High being split into three of the other existing Richardson Junior High schools. In addition to this, the court ordered that the Hamilton Park Elementary School be continued as it is. There are other ancillary parts of the order.
I have a letter in my possession from Sheriff Joe Decker where he says, "Gentlemen, I do hereby submit my resignation as Sheriff of Dallas, Texas, to become effective on September the 1st, 1970, and request that you gentlemen accept this my resignation. May I take this opportunity to express to each of you men my appreciation for your wholehearted support that you have given me in my operation of my department." Signed, J.E. Joe Decker.
For such a catastrophe, if it did occur, we could quarantine San Antonio.
Mayor, are you very optimistic about the passage of the $38.8 million capital improvements program?
Yes.
Or the issue to pass?
I would estimate approximately 20,000 voters favoring the bond election September the 8th would be sufficient to carry the bond election.
Ralph, the Tarrant County Welfare Department is going to ask the Commissioner's Court for more money. How'd you happen to run out of funds?
Well, actually now, the Tarrant County Welfare budget itself is not out of funds.
Spyro Agnew went out to try to help elect a Republican senator, and he attacked my committee, the Labor and Public Welfare Committee. It so happens that the two California senators who own my committee, Senator Cranston, the Democrat, trying to do things, and Senator Murphy, the Republican, trying to keep them from doing things. And so Agnew's attack here that he had in the papers this morning was on the Senate Labor and Public Welfare Committee. It's an attack on my committee, and it's a spurious attack. He says the Democratic members on the Senate Labor and Public Welfare Committee, the 10, have proposed annual spending programs totaling more than $440 billion.
The part that pertains to the food stamp program is out of funds, and those are the people that are in trouble, and we're asking that some funds be transferred to that fund in order that they might continue their work the rest of this year.
How much are you asking for?
We'll ask for a sum of something like $7,700. That's the total sum, 60 some odd hundred, 6,300 for them, and about 1,400 something to be transferred into my salary budget.
If the epidemic continues, I would not be surprised if this measure would not have to be used, and perhaps even the public schools might not be able to open if the new cases continue to occur.
How would a physical quarantine of a city that size, how would it be done?
It's a very, very difficult problem. We've had some limited experience in Lubbock and Corpus and South Texas with the tornado disaster of having to quarantine or block off a section of the city or city for a few hours, a few days, but it would be a mammoth problem. But this is all part of domestic affairs that the state should be prepared to meet, whether it's a disaster like a hurricane or whether it's a diphtheria epidemic like we have in San Antonio.
I'm very optimistic at this time that the 5 propositions will pass. The members of the City Council and the members of our Action Committee have presented the program to several thousands of people within the last 3 months. And as the result of a recent poll survey, it is indicated that all 5 propositions will pass on September the 8th.
What effect will the deletion of the $7.9 million for the library have on the debt of the bonds?
Our Economic Advisory Committee have indicated that with the deletion of the $7.9 million, that we can carry the $38,800,000 capital improvement program without a tax increase for the next 3 years.
Bishop, do you feel the church is softening its stand on birth control?
The church officials, I do not think, have softened their stand yet. However, the Holy Father and the bishops have opened the doors wide open for more research into the possibilities of medical techniques to make sure that the step that is taken in that regard is a safe one. So I would say, at least in this regard, in that the field is wider open now for research than it was a few years back.
How do you view recent moves toward allowing priests to marry?
Well, actually, there have not been any moves yet to allow them to marry. The move has come from the priests themselves to try to bring about a change. I personally have nothing against married people. In fact, I admire them, and I think it's a great sacrament. If ever the church authorities should permit this, should go that way, it won't bother me in the least. However, I think that priests, like anyone else, should be fit to marry. And I don't think that any one priest should run to marriage just because they have a problem within the priesthood. In a sense, marriage is a problem itself. And someone who has a problem and runs to marriage, I don't think marriage is going to solve a problem.
Mal Good, what are you going to tell these people this afternoon?
Well, Jim, you know, there are approximately 5,300 delegates here from all across the country, as well as Mexico City and Canada. I think it's a golden opportunity for me to talk to these young people about solutions in the days ahead to the problems which afflict us, like war and crime and racism and pollution. And I have a great deal of confidence in America's youth, Jim. I have a feeling that the youngsters many of those who surround us today are the ones who, when they finish their education and their training, will provide the answers and the solutions to the problems which trouble my country.
Mal, I want to talk to a couple of these people. This young man's wearing a tie. Says Eric Albright from West Virginia. Eric, what are you getting out of this meeting?
I'm finding out that God is love, and this is one thing that means a lot to me, because we need love in this day and age, and I'm able to find this.
Do you think meetings of this type are going to steer America's youth in the right direction?
Yes, sir. I don't see what else could.
These young people, 5,300 strong, are doing their best to try to solve the world's problems, as Mal Good has mentioned to you. And Mal, this afternoon, I certainly hope that you'll help them on their way to solving these problems.
I'm looking forward to it, Jim. It's a great experience for me, and it's going to enrich my life as well.
Thank you very much. This is Jim Mitchell, Channel 8 News on the Move at Dallas Municipal Auditorium.